So, my story began 7 years ago when, during dinner with my parents, I unexpectedly blurted out that I wanted to adopt a child. I had been thinking about it for a while, but had never said anything to anyone. My mom was very supportive, but my dad was kind of quiet and didn't say much. Over the next few days, I met with Reverend Pat and began gathering more information about the adoption process. At that time, Susie Bond asked me to join one of her women's retreats. During that weekend, I shared my desire to adopt with the other ladies. Most were supportive, some were not. I took that as a sign to dig deep into my soul to make sure this was right for me. After all, I was going to be doing this as a single person. I left the retreat that weekend with no doubt in my mind that I wanted to pursue adoption. I spent the next 6 months filling out forms, attending classes, and answering social workers' questions. The adoption agency left no stone unturned, making sure I would make a fit mother. Once all of the paperwork was done, I then entered the waiting period. It was during this time that my life took an unexpected turn. My dad became very sick. I immediately questioned if I should stay on the waiting list because I knew that my mom would need my help taking care of him, and I still remained unsure about how my dad felt about me adopting a child. Dad passed away 1 week after being diagnosed with cancer. On the morning he died, my mom pulled me aside and told me that my dad did in fact want me to adopt. I'm sorry. Another discouraging year passed, with me still having a hard time with Dad's death while dwelling on the agonizing wait to adopt. Despite the discouragement, my faith kept me going. September of 2010 suddenly became the month that would change my life forever. I received notification that a baby girl had been born prematurely, and I was asked by the adoption agency if her birth mother decided on adoption, would I take her? I took a leap of faith and said yes, I would be the baby's mom. I was on pins and needles for over 2 weeks waiting to hear something from the agency. On Friday, September 24th at 6:30 p.m., I got the call that I had been praying for. Danielle, my social worker, called telling me that I was going to be a mom the next day. I was either going to adopt the baby girl or perhaps a baby boy who had been born at Christiana earlier that day. If the baby girl's birth mother did not choose adoption by 10 o'clock the next day, I would adopt the baby boy because his birth mother did not want to choose who his adoptive parents would be. He would be placed with me because I was the longest waiting family on the adoption agency's list at that time. I immediately called my mom, sister, and friends. I left a message on Susie Bond's phone with my good news, and to this day, she tells me that she still has that phone message. The next morning at 10 a.m., God and my dad gave me the most precious gift. I named him Matthew George because he truly is a gift from God and my dad. I met my new son that day and brought him home the next. One of the ways my dad lets me know, as well as every other member of my family, that he is thinking of us is to send us pennies. As I was placing Matthew in his car seat, I looked down on the floor and there was a penny. And on the day of our finalization, as we were leaving the courthouse, there was a penny right in front of the elevator doors. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that Dad had a part in Matthew coming to me. He wanted Matthew to be with me and for me to be Matthew's mom. I wanted to share my story with you because I believe it's a story of faith, loss, encouragement, answered prayer, and patience. It's about me having faith in God and about God having faith in me. God heard my prayers and gave me the desires of my heart according to His time. I lost my dad, but I feel His presence here with me through the appearance of the pennies. Lastly, there are angels here on earth that God put in my path on my way to adoption and along the path of motherhood. I would never have been able to do this without the encouragement of my mom, my sister, Susie Bond, the women at the retreat, Reverend Pat, Matthew's birth mother, and many other friends. They all continue to have a special role in my journey as I raise my precious gift. Thanks be to God. My name is Kim Westcott, and that's my story, God's Gift.